Well, that was an hour wasted of my life, and not an hour 40 minutes like the runtime, because I left early. And this is a viewer warning, just viewer discretion is advised. Talk about murder and murderous intents and graphic gore is talked about. Also, spoilers for the monkey. As you can see, we've got a different setup today. I had to like kind of figure this one out. Let's turn this on actually. Hold on. Hopefully that doesn't distract the vibe. But I wrote notes for this one. As you can see by the title, it is my review of The Monkey. Do not question why my teeth are blue or why my tongue is blue. I just had Bahama bugs, okay? So, here's the thing. It has been like a month and a half since I've seen this movie. I've been pushing off this review for way too long. So I'm just filming it. By the way, plug-in, if you're here and you're not subscribed, subscribe down below. Something should have happened fancy every time I say subscribe. Did something fancy happen? Comment! Are you also gonna comment? Okay, so anyways, now the shameless self-plug is in. We're talking about The Monkey. So, backstory. My two friends and I were bored, and I had work. So the plan was, after work, they pick me up. We head over to the movie theaters, which is down the street, and we go see a movie. We wanted to get a movie theater that wouldn't have anybody else, so that we can kind of just talk and stuff, because we've done that before. It's been pretty good, and we actually like enjoyed the movie doing that. Personally, I wanted to go see the new Captain America movie. When I tell you that probably would have been way better than the movie I'm about to talk about, I mean it. I genuinely mean it. So I went to work, I got picked up, and we went to go see The Monkey. There were people in the theater. We didn't get it all to ourselves, sadly, but it's fine. There was people. And yes, we heard that the movie was bad. Yes, we knew the reviews. I heard mixed reviews. Honestly, what I was hearing, that it was a bad movie. I heard it was a bad movie and a waste of time. I personally, I like thrillers. I don't like horror. No, don't get me wrong. I love horror, but I don't like gory. Like, if I had to go see Terrifier, I wouldn't be able to stand that. That's like something I wouldn't be able to do, but my other friends can. So, going into that, I knew I probably wasn't gonna like this movie if it was that type of gore. Let's talk about the book. So this is based off the book by Stephen King called The Monkey. My synopsis from what I've been for research is like, it's twins find this monkey from their dad, blah blah blah. It goes on a killing spree basically, and all of that. Like, and the monkey and all of that. Like, that's the synopsis. And I believe in the book, the two sole survivors are one of the twins as an adult and his son. That's if I remember that correctly. Yes, that's how it goes. So that is how the book is. The movie, I believe, took creative liberties, and basically at the end, I'm sorry, spoilers, no one survives. That was also good. I'll be honest, I didn't see the end, so I wouldn't know for sure. You get what I'm saying? So now, we're gonna talk about the director. So, I'm searching up this movie, right? I'm like, oh, who's the director? It's none other than Oswald, I think I used to say, it's Oz Perkins, also known as like Oswald Perkins. I was like, this guy looks familiar. Where have I seen him from? He's Dorky David from Legally Blonde. But he's also known for a lot of other horror franchises, which I did not know about until researching this, okay? So I was very surprised by that. It's also filled with a lot of like blockbuster people. Like, I feel I'm sorry, I don't remember the names, but it's like She-Hulk, Elijah Woods. Like, I'm not expecting to see these people in this movie. Honestly, I'm gonna be real, a lot of the acting, it was like bad, but also not bad at the same time. It was like this weird in between where you're just like, are you supposed to be? It was a lot of dry and dark humor, which is surprising with the star-studded cast it had. So, before we go into the movie, we have to talk about the monkey's rules, right? Rule number 1 is basically turn the key, someone dies. So, pretty self-explanatory. And then number 2 is choose. There is no choosing. You can't choose. I can't choose. No one can choose. The monkey chooses who dies. Number 3, the monkey always comes back and you can't get rid of it. Number 4, the key turner, so whoever turns the key is safe. They're not going to get killed. Now we can get into this movie. Let's talk about the twins. The twins are Hal and Bill. One twin is a very nerdy type of kid, very bullied, like very just like into himself. I kind of related to his character slightly for a bit until like later on. Just like a very introverted kid. And then Bill, I wanted to take a fork and shove it up his eye with the way he acted. It was bad. Bill was this jock type of kid, big bully, bullied his brother, which is weird considering you're twins. I don't know. I'm not the one that wrote that dynamic. It was Stephen King who did that, not me. But yeah. And basically his existence was to make his brother miserable. That's basically how it was. It was bad, guys. I personally hate that trope where it's like siblings against each other. Worst trope. Name a worse one other than our accidental pregnancy tropes, not forced pregnancy tropes. I'm sorry. And what I noticed from during watching the movie, that clearly the POV is from Hal, the very introverted brother. That's probably why the humor is so dark and dry, and why a lot of the acting is dark and dry. That's probably why that acting is. But then again, it doesn't equate to like normal audiences. Like some, yeah, like there are some, I mean freaks in a positive way, I promise. There are some freaks out there who like that type of humor, who like that type of like vibe where it's just cut, dry, dead humor. Like, you get what I'm saying? But for marketing purposes, that's not how a lot of people go see the movie. And yes, I know you don't have to go see the movie if you don't like it. A lot of people are going in blind. Oh, it's a horror movie, la la la. A lot of people aren't used to that type of humor, if you get what I'm saying. We get into the movie. We're opened with the first scene of the supposed dad, who, by the way, played by Adam Scott from Parks and Rec. Again, another star-studded comedic actor. Why are you in this film? It was excessive. It was excessive, like, dark humor, and it just didn't sit right with audiences. But again, played by Adam Scott. Very surprised by that one. So he comes running into this pawn shop, and he's like, take the monkey, I don't want it. Pawn shop owner's like, I don't take kids' toys, and it's broken, so I'm not gonna take it from you. Adam Scott, I'm gonna refer to him like by Adam Scott, but he's like this flight person, right? Remember that for later. Flight person. He goes, oh, you don't want it to start beating its drum or else some bad crap's gonna happen. 1, 2, 3 seconds later, literally goes, and it basically starts this Rube Goldberg of like things falling over, and then all of a sudden the harpoon gun gets shot, hits the store owner straight into, like, I don't know where you would point it out. I would say probably like right here. Hits him straight there and then pulls out his intestines. Again, I was very surprised by it. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be that type of gore, so it won't be too bad. It got worse. It got worse. I'm sorry, but it got worse. We cut to the twins. Our first opening scene with them is with their mother trauma dumping and basically pressing on to her trauma of their dad leaving, which was most likely about the monkey. The boys then go into this closet where their mom keeps all of their dead stuff, find the monkey, turn the key, nothing happens. Then they get their babysitter to come. Their babysitter's taking care of them. They go to a hibachi grill. They're doing the hibachi, right? Hibachi dude and the babysitter are flirting. They're like giving each other looks. All of a sudden, the knife is too sharp, apparently, and slices her head off clean. And her head falls straight onto the hibachi plate. First of all, I understand a finger being cut off by that sharp knife, but let's be so for real. So then they have the funeral for that. It's a weird. The pastor's weird. It's just a lot of weirdness. Their mom then goes on a rant about how life is never blah blah blah, and I was just like, I'm listening to this like, yes, I understand life isn't certain. Life and my ass, but still, what the heck? It was just really dry, dark humor that just wasn't necessary. It might have been to others, and other people might have liked it, but personally, it just wasn't it. Turns out Hal's getting bullied by these like group of teenage girls. I think I can't tell what age they are. They're either middle school or beginning of high school. I'm pretty sure it's middle school, but it's this group of girls who are like completely like just harassing this kid, like very weird. And then there's a scene where the brother and all of these girls throw and like diss him with like all these bananas, and I'm just like, okay, it's weird that the brother joined in, but what the fuck? It was like just a weird scene. Don't get me wrong. That was genuinely the only one of the scenes I was just like, I could see that happening. But then that caused Hal to want to kill Bill. So Hal goes up to the monkey. He's like, I know you're the one that killed my babysitter, so I want you to kill my brother. Twists the key. Hal was home first, and then Bill comes home. Their mom's in the kitchen, right? Remember the rule? You don't get to choose who gets killed. Their mom dies from a once in a 1 bajillion aneurysm where blood just seeps through all of your orifices, openings, and she died. That was very traumatizing to see. Honestly, that was the only death I actually liked. That was the only death that kind of made sense. That kind of like moved the plot line. Liked that actually. Then they have the mom's funeral. Poor Bill can't even take off his suit after the funeral. I felt bad for the trauma that Bill went through. Hal was like, I killed my mother. I cannot believe this. Like, it was bad. Then the twins have to move in with their aunt and uncle. Fun fact, the uncle is played by the director. That was a very awkward realization for me. I was just like, weird. I don't like this uncle. He's very weird. I don't like it when directors come in to play characters. It makes me very uncomfortable. I just don't know why, but it does. The only person I've liked doing it is the guy who plays Happy in the Iron Man movies. And like he did a great job doing that, because like didn't really affect anything. Like we're not gonna get into this, but the Justin Baldoni, I thought it was weird that he was director and an actor. I thought it was weird, but creative liberties, I guess. Okay. Anyways, there was this weird comment from the uncle that mentioned that him and his wife were swingers. I thought that was weird. I don't know if that was in the original book, but I thought it was weird to add. But anyways, okay. So then we come to the uncle's death. The uncle goes out camping or something, but then he's in a sleeping bag, right? A bunch of wild horses run past, and he gets like grinded up in the freaking sleeping bag, and that's how they find him. And they unzip it open, and it's just a bunch of blood and guts, and it's just like, I actually kind of liked the way it is, but it just didn't make sense to me. It didn't click. So they had another funeral. I think that was after Bill twisted the key. I could not remember. Yeah, because they were making a theories like, oh, was it actually the monkey that killed it? And it killed their uncle. Sorry. So then the twins lock up the monkey in the box, chain it up, and throw it in a well near their aunt's house. And then they're like, we'll never see this monkey again. No. Then it's 25 years later. 25 years later, we go back to the aunt living in the house. It was basically Rube Goldberg of events, but she heard something downstairs, went down, fell through the stairs, got a bunch of things in her face. She then used, like, fish hooks in her face. She then used rubbing alcohol to clean her face, went to the stove lit on fire, lit her face because of the rubbing alcohol, which I need to look up and see if that can actually possibly happen, but that actually made sense to me. Because then if the rubbing alcohol's all over your face and then it goes in, because your hair, the moment your hair gets light on fire, it's everywhere. So that made sense to me. What I didn't understand is why she had to then run out of the house. She, like, stepped into things, and then her for sale sign through the head. That's how she died. Yeah, I was just like, oh, interesting. I'm trying to remember how many deaths that is. So, store owner, babysitter, mom, uncle, aunt. We're at 5 kills so far. What? Anyways, now we continue on. So we are then met with adult Hal, who's played by James. It's not James Franco. I thought it was James Franco. It's Theo something. This dude. Okay, so it's played by. Honestly, was very surprised to see this actor. I'm be so real with you. He's been in multiple OCs in fanfics I read. Okay, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Okay, continuing. We get introduced to Hal. Turned out he has a kid. He is supposed to have the kid for his birthday. Take him out to, like, this horror bonanza thing. He goes, go pick up his kid. Turns out his ex-wife is cutting him off. Her new husband is gonna adopt the her son, who the new husband is played by Elijah Woods, and is a freak, like a weird ass freak. Like, he writes all these dad books, blah 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 blah. I see you. Whoever that character is a freak, and not the good kind. I see right through that character. Anyways, and like, oh, I'm gonna adopt your son, and then you don't have anything to do with him because you technically don't want to have anything to do with him anyways. Whatever. It's weird. But basically, they're like, take the weekends, cut off ties, this and this and that. Apparently, the kid, I don't remember this kid's name, so he's just going to be referred to as the kid. Apparently, this kid has a family tree, and when Hal took him, was like, oh, do you have any, they're at a hotel, oh, do you have any siblings? Hal goes, no. What was your mom like? I don't really talk about my mom. Like, we're always given nothing. Remember that for later. They're staying at the hotel. Hal wakes up from a dream because of the monkey. He's like, oh, that monkey, that darn monkey, right? Wakes up from the dream, goes outside, gets a phone call from his brother, Bill. Bill's like, go take care of Aunt's estate and make sure the monkey's gone. That's suspicious. That's weird. That's what I was thinking in my head. But while that's happening, a, like, air conditioner falls down and, like, drops into the pool. It's like 3 a.m. or like 2 a.m. This girl in, like, a bikini and everything goes to go jump in, and Hal goes, wait, and it's already too late, and the moment her fingertips touch the water, she goes all over the place. I'm just like, that's not how that works. That was like, I got pissed off. And I turned to my friend and I go, that's not how it works. I was so pissed off. Hal comes back into the room and goes, we need to leave. Wakes up the sign, drive them to the next hotel. And then the kid goes, I already know about the adoption, and if you want to stay in my life, let me know, and I'll fight for you to stay in my life. But if you don't want me in your life, then just cut me off so that I can move on. It's like, valid, kid. Honestly, great communication skills. I hope this kid does great. This kid seems like pretty good. He didn't really give like a straight answer in all of that. It was kind of weird. And then Hal mentions like, oh, I have to go to my aunt's estate and like clean up her place and stuff. And the kid's like, I'll come with, I'll help, blah blah blah. And then Hal's like, no, you can't, it's too dangerous. And he's like, huh? Me and this kid, me too, man. Me and this kid were like, same brain. But anyways, he decides to take the kid anyways, because the kid kind of guilt tripped him to taking it. I'll be so for real. Taking him. I'd be so for real. Honestly, kid ate with that one. So then they go rest. Then they go to the aunt's house. So they're pulling up. There's a real estate agent coming up. The real estate agent goes, gives the card, blah blah blah, does her whole spiel, starts mentioning like 10 other deaths of other people, and like, oh, it's great business for me because now I can sell their houses. But then like, there's like a bajillion deaths in this town, or like out of nowhere. Like, one dude gets like his face steamed off, another gets caught in like a lawnmower. I can't even remember all of them, but like a lot of them dealt with like a lot of blood, and I was just like, so then the real estate lady then mentions Hal's twin brother, and then the kid goes, I have an uncle. The kid's upset because he's like, I just got lied to by my father. Totally understand that. Like, something that shouldn't have been lied about to begin with. Like, and then they go up into the house. Hal's like, oh, have you found like a wind up monkey, blah blah blah. And she's like, no. Brings him up to like this one room. I think she flirts with him, I can't remember exactly. They go into this room, open up the door. This death pissed me off the most, and this is when I walked out. Ready? Door opens. Monkey sitting up at the top of the thing. A shotgun then falls, clocks, shoots the realtor. She explodes. A finger ends up in Hal's mouth, and when I watched the trailer, I was like, I swear to God, if he goes into like a fucking cannibal thing, I ain't gonna be able to handle that. Luckily, it was worse. It was just bad dying. Like what the? I was so pissed. I was just sat there. I was just like, no, I'm done. My friends were like, they clocked it, and they weren't enjoying it either, and we left. We were just so upset. We were just like, that was a waste of our time. That was a genuine waste of our time. We looked up the ending. We looked up like how it ends and stuff. And we were just like, that would have been a waste of time. I'm glad we didn't. So this is my one friend's review. I thought the story of the dialogue was really bad, as well as the pacing. I also know a large portion of the movie was gory, but most of those deaths and gore didn't really make sense, and the CGI effects were horrible. Could have been better. My other friend, she didn't like send me anything, but she was like, it's bad. Could have been so much better, but it was bad. Yes, I understand I didn't see the rest of the movie, and I know how it ends, and I know I would have hated it because I genuinely cannot stand no one survives tropes. They piss me off to beyond belief. And honestly, some books don't need movie adaptations. I think that book could have been left alone without the movie adaptation. Just saying. So, I didn't like this movie, but if you have similar or different opinions, go ahead and discuss them in the comments. Talk about it. Explain why you think it's good. Explain why you think it's bad. It's totally up to you. And if you like this content and would like to see more, go ahead and leave a like and subscription. Love you. Well, get out,